Okay, today I'm taking a look at the ValueMax 10-piece pick and hook set. Oh, that's cool. Actually comes with a case. Oh, wow. All right. So these have very nice rubber-coated handles on them, so I really like seeing that. Got a plastic tip on the end. We have a hole, so if you want to hang this thing up, we can do that. And I really like this black coated hook. Most of them I see are kind of like a metallic, and I'm always afraid they're going to rust. This one's actually got a nice coating, and it has a nice pointed hook on there. So you can see it does come down to a point. It's not super sharp, which is important because what I'm mostly using these things for is for peeling off hoses and that kind of thing, especially like radiator hoses that seal on. With a tool like this, you can pop this in between the hose and the tube, and you can just kind of work it around up and down, and you can break that seal so that you can easily pop that hose off. These things are incredibly fantastic for that. So we got a nice variety. So of course we got our 90, which is probably the most commonly used hook that I've ever used. But we also got this one, which is slightly more acute than 90. So you can see it kind of pulls inward as you're pulling it down. So what that can be good for is if you need to grab a hold of a hose and you need to be able to pull it off. So if it's giving you trouble, this can actually make that happen. And then we got a couple options here, which are more of a pushing or stabbing kind of motion. So we got a long pushing style here, so this is great for getting around weird corners and getting access on weird locations, and the same thing for our straight point. So this size is the most common style that I use, but every once in a while can find a use for a small hook like this. So it looks like we got basically the same stuff, but in a mini size. So if you're doing anything fancy, like if you're trying to pull a latch or something like that, these things can be great for that because you can fit into much smaller areas, and so that can just make it easier to work with. And then we got our last two. That's just a very nice, simple pick set. Very cool. What I also really like to see here, we got a couple of extras. So we got a magnet and we got a scraper. So a nice simple thing. This is an extendable magnet and it's got a pretty good length on it as well. Cool. So not super strong, but strong enough for doing a lot of the tests that I need. And then scrapers are great for just like removing gasket material or anything like that. That might be the best thing for these little hooks, is you can use those to peel up O-rings and that kind of thing. So if you're dealing with rubber on cars, this is just kind of like a complete all-in-one set. So very cool. So yeah, overall, that is a very nice kit.